Alright, so I'm going to get this done, and then I'm going to glue her in, and I'm going to do a little note. Hey Charles, we're doing pretty good. Finished painting a flower witch, and now I'm just working on building some of the new releases. So, I'm going to glue her in really quick. So it looks like before you glue these last leaves on, you glue her in first. So while I'm waiting for her to dry here, there she is. She's all done. I'm going to record this really quick. Sorry, I'm going to center her and kind of talk to you guys. So a couple quick notes that I'm going to do before I get into this video is there are two things to note. First, you glue her on before you glue these leaves on over here, because they go on over her foot. But on top of that, there are two things you really got to know before you start putting her together. See the stuff that's left over? Normally you don't have to worry about this, but the one here, right in front of my finger, actually goes to her flail here, and there's a peg hole in the hilt. And if you cut too much of this off, like I did, then you'll have to use an excess of super glue. So don't cut off all of this. Leave some to put in the peg hook. And the same thing on the bottom of her feet. The bottom of her feet have there are holes on the base for the little pegs to go in so that she's more stable. So remember those two things before you start watching this guide, because I messed up. But other than that, there she is. She's gorgeous. I love her shield. I love her cape. It's amazing. I love this miniature. I can't wait to paint it. So that's it for the Gladiator. She's awesome. Okay, so I've got a Gladiator here. And I want to start building it. And no, I'm not... hey, no, I'm not actually looking for the art cards. I'm looking for the actual built model so I get an idea of what it looks like. That's really the whole idea. But I was able to find the image and use it in the upper right-hand corner, so that's really cool. So, and it's actually nice that you get to see a separate angle. It is a little delayed, but... So, this is one that has the actual 3D... It doesn't have a plain base, it has a 3D base, which is really nice. So here I'm just going to start building it. There we go. Again, just kind of turn it around. These are just, there's her flail, which I'm worried about, because that's pretty fragile. And then these are just parts of the base, so I'm not too worried about them. But they're actually really pretty. I can't wait to paint this model, actually, because I love painting reds for cloaks, so this is actually going to be great. So, but I just want to get these built today, since I got the flower witch done so soon. There. Just kind of cleaning up the lines as I go, especially the side of this. Hey, thank you, Jangutu. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll make sure when I get those dwarf hats, I'll make sure to message you. You said you're on Twitter, so I'll message you on Twitter. Your name is very identifiable. There. And I hope I don't have to clean up too much, but I might have to clean up a little bit. There's always a little bit of a mold line on these, no matter how good their casting process is. It is resin, so it's always going to have a mold line. Fortunately, King to Death models are not too heavy in the mold release, so I'm not going to worry about that. I might have to spray it. I've done it before. I may have to spray the surface with some sort of resin, or not resin, some sort of sealant, so that the paint adheres better, but that's usually not likely with these. So I'm looking at the image. So her shield is here. Nope, this is part of her flail. Okay, this that I'm holding here is part of her flail. Come on, camera. There you go. So that looks like it goes right here. Yep, right there. And then her flail goes out from there. So, yeah, I will build the Easter Bunny. Yeah, it does look pretty cool. I still have to order one. I'm still mad though that the Cool Mini or Not Kickstarter makes you buy the whole game for their Rise of Moloch. I don't want to play Rise of Moloch. I don't have time. But they want you to do it anyway. It's like, no, I just want my King of Death Mini. It's nice that this one is actually pinned. I'm sorry that it's out of focus. Should switch the focus here. Yeah, there it goes. Yeah, it's nice that this one is actually has a pin and a hole. That helps a lot. Most King of Death Minis don't do that. But it looks like they're getting a little better on their process. And I missed a mold line. There's one right here. I'm just lightly scraping this with the side of this knife. Okay. Oh, I don't want to mess with that. Come on. Blue. Cool. Yeah, I'm going to change the focus because this is getting annoying. Manual. Okay. Right there. Focus on what I want. Come on. I love that you can see my camera settings. Like, that helps. There we go. That's a lot better. I can actually see what I'm doing as I clean up the model. And it shouldn't focus back down again. Yep, there you go. Yeah, no, yeah, that was just me ranting, no. That was just me ranting. I just don't want to spend I want two $15 models, or not to spend $100 on your board game. That's me just ranting about the Rise of Moloch thing. I made the conscious decision just to pledge $30. Now they have my $30 hostage, and they're gonna make me buy their stupid game. I'm sure it's not a stupid game, but I don't want it. Don't make me buy it. Yeah, I want the Steampunk Twilight Knight for sure. And I hate that they limited us too. I would have given them like $300. The resin is a lot easier in some ways. You don't have as much cleanup because they tend to make the parts pretty easy. Because there are no like hard lines connecting everything. But at the same time, it's not as forgiving. Like I almost broke off this part right here between her her legs, her actual like tabard. I almost broke that off just now. So you just got to be really careful when working with King of Death resin. And it's also very tricky to ship too. So if I finish these and actually paint them up, it's going to be really tricky to actually ship them out to people because they're so fragile. I know it goes here. I'm just trying to figure out where. There it is. Wow, that is a snug fit. I don't typically see that on resin minis for King of Death. It's like a really snug fit. It's cool. I think the fade was like this. Not quite like this though. Like this, you can see that line. It's a hard line for that fit. It's nice though that it kind of reinforces. No, maybe I got that wrong. I don't know if I'm wrong or right here. I'm deciding whether it's down or up on this angle. I know. Yeah, it's a little different. But look at that cloak. Sorry. Cloak is just beautiful. I love it. I'm so psyched to paint this one. Everybody loved the Ranger. Alright, another one that's slot fit, which is good. I'm just going to make sure to clean up. See, right around here on the leg, like there's a peg, but some resin slipped out around it, so I got to clean that up. Always, like every King of Death model, make sure you dry fit it before you try to glue it in. Because right now you can see I'm having this problem. It's not quite connecting. Not quite connecting there. So I need to make sure that I've got a nice way. Yeah, no, that's the thing is, you'll see it when it's done. It looks amazing. Everybody says, Ranger, Ranger. Like, no. I mean, part of it too, though, Jabberwock, is the artwork. Not the mini, but the artwork. That really convinces you. People like good art for the minis. So if you see one with really nice art, it really sways you more than anything. It's like a subconscious thing, though. So you'll see in a second why I love this mini. This is my favorite one out of the new releases, by the way. Aside from the, I do like the Easter one, but not as much as this one, actually. Dang, and you can see how bad this is, so I'm actually not going to use this pin. I'm actually going to shave it all the way off. Now that I cleaned it up, it's almost useless. So I'm actually going to shave it all off. It depends on how yours is when you get it. You may not need it like that. But we'll see. Oh, also going to check the back of this leg too. And it does look like there's a bit of a mold line, so before I glue it on, before I even get close to gluing it on, I'm going to use a file. I got really lucky with these files. These are old Games Workshop files. They have this nice little edge, and they're pretty gentle. They're really hard to find now, so I snatch them up whenever I can because they're really nice to the King of Death minis. Yeah, if you type !YouTube, it'll pull it up. And this build guide will be up there as well as all the other ones I'm doing today. So I'm going to do this with every new release as well. So because a lot of people have a hard time building them, and having a step-by-step like this really helps. There, that fits rather nicely, actually. Or maybe a little bit of a gap, but that's manageable. It's never going to be perfect. And it looks like I goofed, so make sure you notice this yourself. There were actually pegs at the bottom of the feet, and I cut them off. It's not so big a deal, but it looks like they planned for it to where they'd actually included pegs to hold her on. So just bear that in mind. Well, mine will probably be for sale on my Etsy store. I don't think I'm going to collect all the resin minis, just because, I don't know. If I ever move, they'll all disintegrate. For the most part. I don't think I'll ever move, but I don't know. Plus, with the channel, it really helps me out to keep streaming if you guys buy them. So that's where they'll probably end up, is on my Etsy store. I'm streaming so that I get better at painting, so if I can sell off painted versions of all these new release minis, I will. It's so much better too than getting them on eBay, or like a new unboxed one at a crazy markup. I hate that. I'm trying to trim this down as much as I can. They have to be strategic with where they put the peg for the mold pouring. So they did it this way so they could keep all the detail on the shield, which was smart. But this is for you, Super Jedi Dude. I don't have a sub button here yet, but it looks like Twitch affiliates, which I am, are going to get the $5 sub button soon. So if that's what you meant, I will get one soon. Hopefully. I don't know when they're going to roll that out, but there you go. And they did it strategically so that that nub is at the back. That nub that I was filing down over here is at the back, so you can't really see it anyway, which is perfect. Now I'm going to attach her head. So I'm going to look at her head and make sure that yeah, see there's a peg piece here. Part of the mold. It just sticks up more than it should. And so to fix that, what I typically do is go like this to just cut a seam. Gently, of course. And that should fix, kind of break it up. And you go with the grain in the hair and you don't push too hard. Especially if you have a really sharp knife. Just be careful that you don't cut through the model. And so I was about to break my rule here. Her neck has a peg, so it should actually go in there, right? There you go. Just like that. So I dry fit it and it was actually perfect. So that means they did a really good job designing their model. And actually, I can put, because of the way they designed it, I can actually put more on here. Put it here and down her hair too. Because that's what, her hair is actually what covers up this line here. So, which is awesome because they designed that so well. I'm psyched when they do a model like this. And look at that, she's just so gorgeous. I love this model. Alright, so I'm not going to attach her flail just yet. And again, I think I clipped the pin. So, disclaimer, don't cut off any of the pins. Like, at the end of these, it looks like there are a lot of pinholes. Yeah, see, right here. This one right here had the flail on it. And I should have saved some of this little bit. Because that's what would have given that strength to this bond here. So mine's probably messed up forever now. Dang it. So, be careful. I'll put a little, I might even put a little thing at the beginning of this video. I'll apply extra glue and I will hit it with some, I'll apply some extra glue. Sorry. Put a big dab right on put a big dab right there on the end. And then I'm going to hit the end of the flail with some of this Instaset. That should create a really strong bond. So I actually took it out of the thing and I'm going to just do a dab right there. And I'm looking at the picture to see which direction this is supposed to go. Nope. Wasn't enough. Yep, like I said, that peg would have saved me here. Because this is so small and thin, I cannot pin it. So I'm stuck with doing... I'm glad I did this for the people that might get this. Yeah, see if I can get this bond, this super glue to set, then that'll really help, actually. There. And now I add more of this Instaset, as much as I can anyway. That way that super glue is kind of like a weld for me. If this were plastic, I'd use some of the GW, the Games Workshop plastic glue, because that would create an actual like weld. But this is not plastic, so I've got to leave this, be as gentle as I can. So that's the best I could do, unfortunately. And I may not even ship her out because of that break. pity. So even if I paint her, I'm going to keep her. Oh well. Could be worse. There we go. That's the first one. I love the leaves. They're awesome. I love this miniature. I really do. I'm gonna build the Ranger next, so we'll see. My opinion may change, but it may not. Yep, too fragile for shipping most of the time. Once they're built, anyway. Oh, that's what I messed up on. There were some pegs from the mold creation. So there was one on this side of this leaf. I think that's the only one. But I gotta check on the last thing I just glued in. Because that actually may need something. So I'm gonna look to see if I missed something here. Not sure. It should be in there a little more snugly, but it's not. So yep, I missed a piece. So right on this side, there's a little bit that I missed. There we go.